Good afternoon, beautiful beings of light. Welcome to the Crone Zone Conversation with the Ancients. My name's Priscilla. I'm here with my fellow
Feather
crone,
friend.
my fellow crone Heather. And today we've got White Dragon, also known as Paul. So we're going to
Hi.
have an exciting day today. We're going to talk about all kinds of things about crystal skulls and maybe the ship Athena. You know, White Dragon works with Dr. Gale, so he's very familiar with the ship, the Athena, and he's going to give us some information about it. So I'm quite excited to hear about that. So welcome, Paul. We're happy to have you here today.
Oh, thank you for inviting me to share some of the information that I've been able to find.
Oh, we're real excited to hear about it. And I love this painting that's behind you. Can you tell us a little bit about your Easter painting?
Well, the artist's name is Nicholas Roerick, Roick. No, let me write it down.
Rorick, I think it is.
Roerick.
Yeah. Hi, Janet P.
Yeah, Roerick. You can look him up, and he was a Russian mystic, and he went all over the Tibetan plains and stuff, and he did a lot of paintings when he was out there. And this is one of the paintings. He calls it it's called the sage in front of the giant skull or something like that, you know.
Wow.
I mean, somebody who had a skull like that has been a pretty big fellow.
Yeah. You mean one of those ancient giants that never existed, but we know they did?
Oh, yeah. The Smithsonian back in the 20s had like a couple of dozen of those skeletons, and some religious guy went in there and forced them to put them away. I don't know if they destroyed them or they just put them away somewhere.
Who knows?
It didn't go along with his narrative, so I suppose
it's probably there with the Ark of the Covenant from Indiana Jones in that warehouse.
Yeah, in that warehouse.
I'm very interested in the art myself, but you know, that's a different story.
That's a whole different rabbit
That's
hole.
a whole different thing. Yes.
Hi, Lauren. Welcome. Well, Paul, how did you actually get involved in spirituality or maybe not even spirituality, but UFOs and crystal skulls and all of that mystical stuff?
Well, I've always been strange. My family thinks I'm the strange one. So, you know,
That's all right. We all are.
I started getting interested in stuff, you know, about what happens, you know, further than what we hear. And I got into the Yogananda group, and I studied with him for a little while. And then I went over to the one of the I Am People's group, and I was with them for a couple of years. And then I said, I got to start my life. So I got married, and I put that on the side. I said, enough of this stuff. And then, you know, later on in life, you pick it up and you start doing more. So then one day I just got interested in UFOs and ETs and stuff like that. And then one day I met Dr. Gill, and I thought she was crazy.
I think we all thought Dr. Gill was crazy.
I thought she was crazy, but you know, I stuck and I listened, and I go, you know, she makes a lot of sense.
That's my idea of her being crazy didn't last very long.
It really did feel to me when you first listen to her, you go, she's crazy. She's got to be really cuckoo, and no, she's
not at all.
She's just matter of fact.
She's just matter of fact.
She's one of the people who's actually knows what she's talking about, and there's a lot of people who talk, but they don't really know. So that's pretty much what I got. And then, you know, the crystal skull stuff, I've been looking at them for a while, and I got kind of interested, but you know, to me, you know, crystal skull is kind of macabre. It's kind of spooky and creepy looking, you know.
I kind of thought that too when I first heard about him in the early 2000s, I guess.
But she's really a fan of skulls.
Who?
Well, I'm more of the Sugar Skull fan.
Well, you know, we all have our past.
Yeah.
And that's okay. I mean, you got to do what you got to do, and your journey is your journey.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah. And you've actually had some actual hands-on experiences
With what?
in the skulls
Oh, in the
and
skulls
talking.
and spaceships too.
Oh yeah. With this,
True.
actually, there's this lady called Suzanne Lee, Lie, and then one day she sat down, she started writing books, and she wrote 5 books, and they're called A Pleiadian Perspective on Ascension.
Oh,
And I found out book number 2 is about the Athena. Of course, I was very interested in the Athena. I didn't know why, but I was very interested in it. So I started reading, and those books were like, yeah.
And the Athena is the ship,
The
correct?
Athena is the ship. It's an Arcturian ship. It's one of the ships whose main task is to protect this solar system, specifically the Earth.
oh, right.
Yeah, and
is that the same ship that Dr. Gale's on?
I don't know if she's on the Athena. I'm not on the Athena right now. Well, technically I am, but I'm not. Athena is my main ship, and I'm right now. I've got a different job. I've been doing this ambassadorial type of thing. And, I don't know why they switched jobs so fast, but they do. So
Seems like they do.
Yeah, she
does. I kind of bamboozled them into giving me a ship, and they did. So I have my own command, ambassadorial ship, which is kind of large. I mean, I can go to another star system if I want to, but I know. But anyways, that's just a different story. But anyways, my main ship is the Athena. I can communicate with it. I have an implant that they gave me, the ship gave me, and allows me to communicate with the ship at any time I want. So, and the ship communicates with me, and it shows itself, the avatar. It's through an avatar. The avatar looks like a little girl. It's like 8-9-year-old girl with the hat and the frizzy outfit and the shoes and the socks, and it looks like a little girl, and that's how the ship talks to me. And I don't know if it does that with anybody else, but she calls me Pappy. Okay, that's fine with me. I'm fine with if you want to do that. That's fine with me. I don't care. So, anyways, I sometimes I go and ask for a status and gives me a status, what's going on, and all that kind of stuff. So that's the ship itself. The ship itself is very interesting. If you want to know pretty much what happens, I think the best description is in book 2 of the Suzanne Lee. It's all about the ship. The whole book is about the ship and what happens in the ship and all the dimensions that it covers and all that kind of stuff.
That's fascinating.
So you confirm what she wrote.
Well, yeah. Well, the main thing for me was that she's the one that kind of got me into the mindset that I could actually do this. And then I went to the ship, and then the ship did its thing, and I did my thing there. So the interesting thing about the crystal skulls is that the crystal skull, the original, there were like 13 of them. One of them, the main one, was called Max. I have no clue why it's called Max. Do you have any idea why it's called Max?
I have
Max.
no idea why it's called
Yeah.
Max. I've never heard.
And they call it Max. So the original skulls are not on the planet. All 13 of them, they've been taken away, like I said. And that is a little bit of galactic history. All those skulls are Arcturian by design. It's an Arcturian artifact. And if you want to know why, the Drax, which was the reptilians, were chasing the Pleiadians, and they were trying to kill them. And the Pleiadians were going from star system to star system, and then they wound up in one place. And they said, "You know what? We gotta stop this stuff." And so they asked the Arcturians to come help them, and then the Arcturians helped them rise above it in frequency. So they ascended.
So they ascended.
Yeah, they ascended. So they took the skull. The Arcturians had the skull. They passed them on to the Pleiadians, and then the Pleiadians passed them on to the people on Earth. So
what people of Earth was it that they passed them on to? Was it the Atlanteans?
Well, there were several civilizations back then. One of them is the Atlantean, and then is the land of Lemuria, and another one called Mu.
Yeah.
So Mu is not the same thing as Lemuria.
No, they're different. They're different
Okay.
civilizations.
Yeah.
And then with Atlantis, and most people think that there's only one sinking. No, there's been like 2 or 3 sinkings of Atlantis. The last one is the one that they finally went under. So
Right.
there's only a few little pieces of things that you can see that they're sticking up from the ocean, and that's from the tallest mountain that was on there.
Mm-hmm.
So, it like I said, based on what the skulls was a tool that the Arcturians used to help the planet ascend. So then they brought it to Earth, and then the whole thing happened where the bad guys got in there and they messed everything up, and they almost destroyed themselves. And they moved all over the planet and moved everything away as far as they. And then they took they took the skulls and they put them on other places. I know that Max is on the bridge. Max is accessible to the bridge to the Athena. You have to know. I've asked. I say, hey, if this is there, yep. Have I actually seen it? Yes. Have I held it? Yes. It's on there. So I can tell you that the original ones are all off planet. That does not mean that there's others on the planet that have a role to play with Max.
Right.
Mm-hmm. A lot of skulls all over the place, and people swear up and down that they're the actual crystal skulls. No, they're made. Those are copies. They're made by humans. However, I found out this recently because I started asking questions like I always do. I asked a million questions, and the answer was that, hey, the Max, the original Max, can link sympathetic vibration link to these other skulls, all these crystal skulls, because quartz is very susceptible to brain waves and different kinds of frequencies.
Mm-hmm.
So,
wow.
Were they various?
Yes, you may have a skull, and it actually feels like Max. Well, because Max is actually linked to it. So that's why people swear up and down, hey, I got Max, and like that lady in Texas that has a skull, and she swears up and down it's Max, and that whatever, she charges money. I wouldn't do that, but anyways, that's her.
I was actually there in 2004 when she was bringing it to different cities in Texas. And I was actually supposed to go see it, and I don't remember why we never made it, but I thought it was bullshit.
So how big is Max?
Max is probably the same size as a human skull. It's kind of large.
And you were talking about some that are really big. What are those?
Like what?
Oh, you were saying some
of the skulls were
40 to 50
feet
tall.
Oh no, that's just from the giants. That's from like the picture.
That's from the giants. Okay.
Yeah, those were actual hybrids between aliens and humans, and they grew.
Goodness.
Humans, I think it
big.
was.
They couldn't survive.
That makes a lot of sense.
They all died. They couldn't survive. Anyways, that's I think that's part of the history, and you have to go to the Hall of Records, and I call it the Great Library. Not everybody has access, but if you do have access, you got to get past the main librarian. And he's a tough cookie. You can't fool him.
Who?
So if you come in, then you're in. If not, if you don't have a reason to go in there, forget it. He's not going to let you in.
Who are you talking about?
The main librarian at the Akashic Record. It's some master. Some old
when
guy.
I went to the Akashic Records, Anubis was at the door.
Yeah, they have different different people but the main guy I call him the main librarian. He probably can show himself as anything he wants, so you can understand. Sure. But if you have business in there, come on in. He'll show you around. But if you're trying to get in there for something else, forget it. He'll kick you out.
Right, as he should.
Yes. And you said all of the skulls are off Earth now?
Yeah, they're off planet. They're not on the planet. They're in different dimensions. See,
Will they ever come back?
oh yeah, the skulls are the bridge. The bridge on the Athena is in the fifth dimension. Time doesn't exist here, so technically it's a different dimension.
Right.
So they're locked in
Max
there.
is in the fifth dimension, but we have others that are in other dimensions as well.
Right. There's others. Now, I don't know the real meaning or why the others exist, but it has to do with DNA. The nearest thing I can figure out, and in the many questions that I've asked, is it has to do with 12-strand DNA. Right now we have 2, and then we have at the end of the other strand, there's a big wad of whatever they call it, junk DNA. Then of course it's not junk DNA. I mean, you can't just have a wad of nothing that doesn't.
No, it's just they don't know what it is, so it's junk.
They call it junk. Well, that's what the other 13 strands. They actually have children that are being born right now, and this is scientifically proven. They have 3 strands.
Wow.
Not many, but they started to have 3 strands, and I thought, man, that's kind of crazy. But I can't imagine like 12 strands. And
I can't imagine 3, much less 12. And what would they do to the kids that have 3 strands? It seems like they'd have them in scientific.
Oh, they're probably watching them and finding out what the heck is doing and all that kind of stuff. So and DNA is it's a crystal also. The DNA behaves like a crystal, and it's also like an antenna. So it really does receive extra energies that way, because an antenna is nothing more than a tuned circuit. I'm an electrical engineer, right? I talk this way. So if you don't understand, ask me to explain it. A tuned circuit is you have an emitter here with a certain frequency, and then this thing is tuned to that. And then when you go like this one starts moving at the same frequency.
Right. It matches frequency.
That's what an antenna does. So the DNA is an antenna, and that's how we receive a lot of stuff. And the government, those, have a weapon that they developed that uses that, and it causes you to. It's an energy weapon that they direct with microwaves, and people say that it's like if you light your skin on fire. That's how painful it is.
Wow. That's not good.
That's not a good thing. So, I don't know. I mean, the government does a lot of weird stuff. So I'm not going to.
So you were going to talk about what quartz is and how it's made.
Oh, yeah. Quartz is an interesting crystalline substance. It's silicon, one silicon atom and 4 oxygen. And it grows. The nearest thing, they say that it takes 10,000 years to grow a small one, or larger than if you want a larger one, it takes longer. However, since the Arcturians are crystal experts, they have ways of growing quartz a lot faster. And during the Atlantean times, they had special quartz beds where they used to grow these crystals underground, deep underground, and that's where some of the other crystals that they moved away in some kind of dimensional corridor. I don't know how they did that, but anyways, they moved all these huge crystals, and one of them is like 40 feet tall.
Wow!
And those crystals have started to activate since the 2012.
Mm-hmm.
You know how everybody got all excited about all these gates and all this stuff around the same time?
I remember.
Yeah, those were those crystals that were activating, and they started activating. They're deep in the area of Arkansas, which is where most of the quartz is deep underground, and they had those growing facilities down in there. So you have that, and then of course quartz is a major component of semiconductors. grow quartz crystals, and then you turn them into semiconductors. So we got them inside the computers and watches and all kinds of stuff. You're using quartz.
And those are lab grown quartz crystals?
Yeah, lab grown quartz. And what it is it has a property that if you push on the quartz, it generates electricity. So if you put electricity on, it makes a quartz vibrate. That's how quartz watches work.
So why don't we have quartz electricity grids all over the place for free?
Well,
free energy.
Well, that's what Marcel Vogel did, and the IBM scientist Marcel Vogel, and you may want to do a show on him later. He started playing around with this. He had crystals that he cut, quartz crystals, and I'll show you. I have a couple of samples here. This is Marcel cut crystals. I don't know if this is a genuine Marcel, but it's a cut. Now
the cut itself is called the Marcel cut. It looks like it's bigger on one end than the other. Is that right?
Right. And then this little one is a really. This one was made by somebody in Brazil who learned from Marcel.
It looks like a bullet almost.
Yeah, this one's a real cut, and this one also is the same. Okay, see it?
Yeah.
So these are you can charge these, and you can direct energy with these to heal and things like that. According to Marcel, you can look them up on the internet, and you can find out. But quartz is usually like. This is a special one. Real quartz has 6 sides.
Huh.
This is a Lemurian seed crystal. See how he has like little lines going across? It has lines going across and a face that's clear. Another one, and that one's with lines. It goes around all the way around. This is a real grown one. So that's beautiful. You have that, and I think that's mainly the reason why they were using the quartz skulls. Now you see this one here. I don't know if you see that. That is very unusual. The reason I bought this is because I know that some ships have a crystal in the middle of it for its power source with a crystal like this.
That shape.
And I go, I know. So I'm kind of like a sucker for scientific
crystal. Yeah, but I can understand why if it's the same cut as what is in the middle of a ship to power a ship. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Do they still make quartz watches?
Can they what?
Do they still make quartz watches?
Oh yeah.
Do they? I remember when they first came out, my dad was so excited to have one.
Watches used to be mechanical until the Japanese around the 60s came up with the first quartz watch, and and they figured out that if you applied a current to it, the crystal vibrated at a certain frequency, and then they took and they counted, and that's how they ever to be so accurate because they can count, how many seconds per vibration, and that's why those watches are so accurate. Right. But the thing you have to have a battery, and the battery runs out, which I don't really like myself. So I kind of like the mechanical watch. It's kind of like poetry.
Right.
Yeah.
So you can grow crystals big, and they do grow them in this thing called the autoclave, and it's like a big tube that you can put crushed quartz in the bottom, and then you put seed crystals on top, and then you fill it with some kind of solution that's alkali, and then you pressurize it to about 15.
Oops.
So multiply that to 1,000, and then heat it to 680 degrees Fahrenheit, and then they keep that like that in about a year's time. They get a crystal that grows to about 20 pounds.
Wow,
that's cool.
It takes a year though. So, but that's how they give those crystals for the watches and things like that. Now, the funny thing about and let's just get into Max. You ready for that?
Yeah, we're ready for Max.
Let's
Do
get
you
to
want me to put up one of these pictures?
Yeah, you can put the Max pictures.
I can only do one at a time. This is
That's
your
fine.
little
That's
mini
fine.
Max.
Yeah, that's Max, and Max is about from nose to the back. It's about 4 inches or something like that. It's about 3 inches high and about 3 inches wide. It has a lot of detail in it, and it was made in China someplace.
Right.
I guess only the Chinese are the ones who are crazy enough to do this kind of work anymore, because it's very finicky work. So I got them on where was it? Amazon.
Right.
Yeah, I sent you a picture of some of that, and you may want to. I don't know if you're going to get one or not, but I mean, I think
Heather's already ordered one.
Oh, really?
And it was from the same
3
company.
inch. Most of them are 2 inch. So it's really
yeah,
hard
they
to
got
find
smaller
a 3
ones,
inch.
but it's either size. I don't think it matters the size. I wanted something that was at least 3 to 4 inches, and that's one I picked. So and that's Max sitting on a little platform that's got an LED that has these little things that you can change the color. I got that on also on Amazon.
Does Max like any particular color more than others?
I don't know. I kind of like look at it and I get the feeling that sometimes he wants to be like purple and sometimes like electric blue, like that one. He likes that one a lot, and white during the day. But at night, I've been running him on purple.
Right. Cool.
Purple. It's like a night light, and it lights up the whole room. And I tell you, the other night I had something weird. I got him going, and then I wake up in the middle of the night, I look out the bedroom door, and it looked like the lights in the living room went really bright. And I had one of those bulbs that's controlled by the computer. And I go, somebody messed up with my bulbs. So I get up and then the lights went down to normal. So I don't know. Max may have been doing something that day.
Maybe so.
So you want to put okay, and then before that I saw this is the actual Max. This is the actual collective. Max is a collective of very high density, like 6, 7 or maybe 8 density beings. And it showed itself one day. It showed itself to me. I'm looking out there, and this thing starts getting real sharp and sharp and sharp, and I go, that's kind of beautiful and interesting. And it showed itself. It finally got into focus into this shape, and then the hair things were like flames. It was moving and it was doing all kinds of stuff. And then my head said, "This is Max. This is the person behind the real Max." It's a collective. So, and I made a drawing of it. I've been making drawings of things that I see at night. So at least I don't think I
love his big blue eyes.
Yeah, it had big eyes. It was almost like an alien, but it had eyes with white in it, and it had a small face towards the bottom. It didn't say anything. It just showed itself for about 3-4 seconds, just to make sure I got a good look at it, and then it like faded away.
Was the hair-like stuff? Was that like flames or tendrils?
Yeah.
That's what he said.
No, it looked like flames to me. Tendrils with flame, and it was moving. It was undulating. It was moving.
Wow.
It didn't say anything. It was just like, I thought this was like very interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
So that's Max. And the other thing I said, okay, so why me? Why do I have to get this crystal skull? And I call it Mini Max, the one I got. And I said, no, why? Well, why? And the answer was, you don't have to do anything. You just keep it. And why? It's broadcasting. Okay, so broadcasting what?
Broadcasting what?
It's broadcasting. So during one of the shows in Dr. Gill, I said, hey, Dr. Gill, I got this thing here, and it's broadcasting. And she she looks and she goes, yeah, it's broadcasting geometric shapes like triangles and squares and rectangles and things like that. And
Sacred geometry.
Yeah, sacred geometry kind of stuff. That's what it's broadcasting right now. And I'm thinking, okay, so anything I need to do, you just keep it going. So one of the things that I wanted to do with this was, first of all, I don't want to be like the lady in Texas. No, that's not what I'm after. I'm more after, because I know that these calls are trying to help the planet ascend, and that's my main goal here is to help that. And I think we're all working towards that. So we got this, and I'm right now. All I got to do with this thing is just to keep it and it's broadcasting. That's all I know, and it's putting out energy. My wife saw it. I put it out and I didn't tell her nothing. She goes, "I don't like that skull. That looks creepy." Okay, fine. So she looked at it and she said that she saw 2 bars of blue on each side of it going up and down like this. And she don't believe in any of that stuff. She's like, I saw 2 bright lights on the thing. I said,
okay. Scared her.
That's good to hear. so I know it's broadcasting. So what is broadcasting? I don't know. I mean, the Suzanne Lee in the book said that Max holds the records for 12-strand DNA for the Earth. So when it comes back,
right.
Yeah, 12-strand DNA, and then once the Earth goes to the transition, then all those records will be revealed.
Right.
Max, all the records are going to expose themselves. So we'll get them. So that's pretty much it's just a way that things are going to happen. And I'm so tickled and happy that I've been part of it. And the other thing is that this just came recently to me, and maybe part of this thing is to make people aware that you can become part of the experiment. These are all experiments, in my view.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I agree.
So, like you said, I got this, and this is an experiment. And you said that you ordered one, and this is your experiment. So I don't know why you got it, but if you now Max, if you try to connect with Max and you say, "Hey, Max, thank you for being there and doing this with the skulls. If you want to, I'm going to offer my crystal skull to you to link to it and to start broadcasting, and let's see what happens." So
I think we'll let you know, because I think that's exactly what Heather wants to do is link the skull that she's just ordered to Max.
Yes, you can do that. You can. I know that this is one of the things that just came to me like yesterday, and I said, well, I better mention this, because there's going to be more people that are doing this, and hopefully it's a trend that now they know why and how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So now once that happens, as far as I know, all you got to do is just to have it. It's not, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to pray to it or bow or whatever. You know how people do. I'm not into that kind of stuff.
Not into idols.
Today is Easter, and I'm not a church person. I don't go to church unless I really have to. But every time I go to,
you have to go to church. Oh, a wedding or
every time I go to church, something weird happens. Like the last time I went to church, Mother Mary showed up.
Well, that's nice. If I went to church, I would like for her to show up.
She didn't say anything to me, but she put both her hands on my back, and I, thank God I had my arm around, because I would have been fried for a cinder. the energy of a little lady, and she was tiny. I mean, she was like 5'4", 5'3". No,
mighty.
and very small, right? In sandals, and she looked. You know what she looked like? She looked like you ever seen those pictures that the Catholics have where she's dressed in the white and the blue with a little crown on, the golden crown. She looked just like that.
Interesting.
So. And so I don't go to church very often.
Wait a minute. Oh, let's see what she says. I think she just. Yep.
You just did.
Amanda Carroll. Yeah, I mean that's I think that's something that I wanted to get across, because that's probably more important than just having it. Oh yeah, it's a nice crystal skull. Look at it, it looks kind of weird, but it's over there. No, no, I mean everything has to have a purpose, in my view. And if you're helping, the main reason why you're doing this, in my book, is to help the earth ascend, and that's really why we're here. I
I
mean, if
think
you're,
that's why most of us are here, is to help the earth ascend and help mankind ascend. That's certainly my
Hmm.
goal.
Right.
That's what
well,
we're.
yeah, I mean, I'm right now. I'm committed to it. It's something that I have to do, that I chose to do, that I, you know.
Us too.
So we all do our own little bit, or whatever we can. Everybody has their own little gifts, and we do whatever we can.
That's
So,
exactly right.
and the thing is that when we do that, and Earth ascends, she takes us with us.
Hmm.
Yeah.
She takes us with her, and then we ascend too. We go to five. We go to 5D. I think most of us are already living in 4D, like you and I,
I
and
agree.
Yeah.
Most of us are living in 4D
other
unless we're
episode. We're in 4D, and 4D, and then 4D goes to higher 4D. There's a bunch of like levels, and then you go to 5D, and there's like a step you got to get over
Some
to
of
get.
us go all the way up and down,
Yeah, right.
traveling in between all of them.
We
Mhm.
go to 5D in little bursts. We live in 5D for a little while, and then we back down. We drop back down, because once you start thinking of something over here, or like, oh, my dog's barking, poof, you go back down.
Yeah.
It
Or you
brings
get
you.
out in a car to drive somewhere and you're quickly in 3D again.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's how it happens. I mean,
5D till I start driving and then I'm instantly 3D.
I'm not saying that that's a good thing, but that's just how it happens. It's not. That's, it's not something that it's not even good or bad. I mean, it's, how fast you get there, it doesn't matter as long as you get there, right?
That's exactly right. Yeah, it doesn't
Some,
matter. We're
some
all
people
in it
some
together.
people go the long way, some people go the short way, but everybody gets there one way
Hmm.
or another.
And
Hmm.
everybody's exactly where they should be.
Right, right.
That's
And
right.
so your show has a lot to do with helping people.
That's
If you help
That's
for
the
one
point.
sure.
person,
That's
if
the
you help
point for
Hmm.
sure.
if you help one person, you've done a huge thing.
Right.
That's exactly right. If
That's
we
why I
can
said,
just make one person's day a little better or help show them something that helps in their life, that's all that we ask.
yeah, I've always said, you just help anybody you can. You're helping the world one person at a time.
That's right.
One person at a time. That's how it goes. So
So I think we should all go out and buy crystal skulls and link it to Max and help this planet ascend.
Help him send out the energy.
and
Yeah.
then Max is, what did you do? You did. I'm just passing the info along. I'm not going to do anything. You really don't have to do anything else to do it. I mean, I got it on a base. It's got the colors. It looks nice, but when I picked it up today, I mean, I felt the energy. I,
Mhm.
I felt the energy go up my hand, and I go. "Whoop," it went up like ants crawling,
That's
and,
cool.
Yep.
and I go, okay,
Well, it just
all right,
is
Max.
validation that the energy is
Is
being
in there.
broadcast.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah,
pretty
it is broadcasting. It continues to broadcast. Now, the broadcast information may change,
yeah.
and I don't know exactly what it is, because when you're dealing with Arcturians, Arcturians are very nice, but they got their own way of doing things, and who knows who knows what they're after. But
Do you have much interactions with Arcturians on the
well,
ship?
there's this one Arcturian that showed up in my room one night, and it was kind of like a ghost kind of thing, transparent and not a lot of definition.
Hmm.
So this thing showed up, and I'm looking at it and I'm going, okay, what is this? Let me watch and see what happens. And it's an Arcturian. Okay, what's your name?
What do they look like?
It had like a big head and big eyes, and like a robe. It was kind of floating, and
Okay.
then it was like see through. And then I said, "What's your name?" Arthur.
Arthur.
Arthur. No. Okay. So here's an Arcturian that works with me called Arthur. And why Arthur? Well, that's the name that they chose because they always pick a name that you can relate to.
Right.
And the name might be
Exactly.
but
nothing that we can say or even understand.
I remember we had some Archon would try to say his name.
Mantis.
Yeah, a mantis. And he was interesting. He came visit me one.
But we couldn't say
this Arcturian, I guess he's been assigned to work with me for some reason. So we sat there and we talked for about an hour. Mm-hmm. and the thing with the Arcturians is it's like so easy to talk to them. It's like you and me talking. It's that easy. And you're not talking in words, it's light language that you're using. And none of this that like all the gibberish that people talk sometimes. I call it gibberish because light language is to communicate. If you don't know what you're saying, doing it. In my book, I mean, some other people may have something else different, but that's how I look at it. Light language works that way. We'll talk light language. I know that you do, Priscilla.
I do.
It's in your head, and it sounds like your voice mostly, except sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's a different.
Well, right now, the voice in my head is Dolores Cannon. She's been speaking to me a lot recently.
Yeah.
I just took her level 1 course. I'm sorry?
Write down what she says so that you remember.
I do. I'm keeping a journal, and I just passed my level 1 test, so I'm an intern on the QHHT training now. So, and she was with me the whole time as I was studying for it, and we'll see what all she has to say. It's interesting because it's her voice in my head. It's not my voice. And if I'm around an entity very long, their voice just transfers into mine. And it's very frustrating because then I will like, is that me or is that them?
Right.
So it's very easy to do. About a year, almost 2 years, I started being able to do that same thing that you just described. I ask a question and I hear it in my head, in my own voice. And I've been able to contact different people that way, like the Arcturian and the ship. I talk to the ship all the time. I even talked to my command ship that they gave me for a little while.
And what is your ship's name? Your own ship's name?
Oh, I call it the ambassador ship. I don't have anything special. Right. Because that's its main purpose. I mean, it has a lot of crew and a lot of. I mean, it can hold a lot of people. It's how I get from here to there and here to there to do whatever it is that I'm supposed to be doing. Mm-hmm. So I guess I'm kind of like a problem solver.
Right.
Lovely. And Dr. Gale says it's a very hard job. I said, well, okay, that's basically what I did as an engineer. I mean, I can look at a system and tell you exactly what's messed up and then fix it. So that's
my husband was like that.
And then Michael came and I talked to Michael all the time
and we're talking about Archangel Michael.
Yeah, Michael. And I call him Mike sometimes.
I can't imagine. Hey, Mike.
He's the one that trained me. I don't know if you know this.
Yeah.
He trained me to do what I did. So anyways, he came in and goes, I want you to go to Solaris. You remember how Dr. Go was doing Solaris healing thing and all that kind of stuff? He says, I want you to go to Solaris every night.
Every night.
Every night for about a month and a half. And I said, okay, fine. I'll go. So then what about the other stuff I'm doing at the ship? I said, oh, it don't matter. Afterwards, you can go to the ship and do whatever you were doing. I was doing missions and stuff. So the thing is, when you're working 5D, it doesn't matter how long here in 3D is going. You could be sleeping for 10 minutes and you can spend a lifetime up there in 5D.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So time doesn't apply. So I would go there and I guess I was being trained for this job that I have now.
The ambassadorship or whatever.
Yeah. So it must be pretty important. I mean, I don't know how long it's gonna last. Every time I ask, yeah, everything's fine. You're doing pretty good. Da, 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 da. I don't know the details of it, and I don't know if I want to know.
Well, it seems like Dr. Gale's just changes, just boom, all of a sudden. How many
Yeah,
has
she's got
she
a
had?
different one. She's got a different one every like 2 weeks, and I don't
Yeah.
know how
Mhm.
does she get it straight. But
We need to catch up with her. We haven't had her on the show for a while. I haven't talked to her in a while. I'll have to catch up and see what else she's up to now.
Yeah.
yeah, she's having a lot of she's doing a lot of stuff, but a lot of stuff that she's doing is like she can't talk about it really
Right.
because it's kind of sensitive. Um,
Well, what kind
the
of stuff are you doing that you can talk about?
well the let me see. Well, I got a new job and I'm going here and there. That's pretty much it for now. I mean, I
Gotcha.
did a lot. I did a lot of missions, and the missions involved things here and elsewhere, but everything was made to just go with helping the Earth ascend. So I said, I am not going to do anything that does not help Earth ascend.
Good.
I plain I told him. I said, no, 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 no. You don't understand. I refuse to do anything that's not. No, 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 no. So I mean, I had a couple of things where I had to put my foot down on them, but that's fine. They're good to work with. So
Good. Do you mainly work with Arcturians?
uh,
So,
some in the Palladians in the Palladians and the Arcturians, and most of the work that we do are mostly the hybrids.
mhm.
It's like with the grays and stuff. I'm not too crazy about the grays. I'm less crazy about the tall whites, and I do not like the Drax at all.
No,
And
I don't think anybody likes the
they're
Draconians.
not they're not all bad. I mean, I'm sure that they're not bad. All of them they're trying to do some things that they're trying to help them. And I've I mean I've gotten a I've come across a few of them, and they have not lived to see the next day
Good.
because. And Michael came to me and he said, "Hey, you can't just do that because even as bad as they are, they deserve a break." And I said, "Okay, sure, no problem with that. Here's the deal. I made a deal. Believe me, I made a deal with Michael. If they attack me, that's it. That's the end. But if they don't, they can
Well, do we
continue."
still have a lot of them on the planet?
No, well, there's still some, but not. They're very small pockets. The majority, the bulk of them, have been taken off.
Good.
And
That's what I understood.
yeah, they rounded them all up and they took them to the processing center. I guess I call it the processing center.
Do
So
they
they're
have another planet to go to?
no, there's a special place that they got from, and what they do is they train them and they teach them, they put them through school, whatever it is that they do. I don't know exactly what they do, but they take them and there's a place for them to go. So that's good because the like Michael says, even then they deserve a break.
Hmm.
It's better to have somebody who was really bad to turn to the right side and do
Exactly.
good than somebody who refuses to know right after they know to do it, and then all of a sudden what do you do with that being? You give them chances and chances, and then eventually the chances run out,
Oh well.
Mm.
and then they got to dance.
Hmm.
And there's a way to make them dance, but that's not a lot of them that go through that. So
That
yeah,
makes sense.
Yeah.
other than
Yeah.
that, I mean, I've talked about as much as I can. I feel comfortable talking.
That's
So
okay. That's good.
um,
There's only so much you can.
right, and with time, if time goes on, we can probably talk a little more about this. But for now, I mean, it's just too recent that the thing that happened. Uh,
Okay.
I'm not I'm not crazy about keeping things from people, but that's how it goes.
Well, rules are rules, and some things don't need to be told to everybody, and that's fine. I understand.
Sometimes they don't.
Expression.
They're not equipped to know exactly what happens. There's a lot of stuff that I don't really understand myself.
I can imagine.
Uh,
Going in and out of dimensions, and let's spend half your time in 5D and on a ship. I just can't even imagine how that works with living here in 3D.
Yeah.
oh, that's easy. That's easy. The thing is that we're multidimensional beings.
We are.
We are.
We live in different dimensions at the same time. Our different selves. We're like split into different pieces. You know, the piece that's split and it's in 3D right now. It's a very small part. A very small
Mhm.
part of who we are. We're huge. We don't fit in one body. So we have a piece here, and then we have a piece over there, and we have a piece up there, and it goes
Oh,
on.
absolutely.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So
I
once
call
you
them
know,
fractals. I
and that,
call it.
that's one of the things that these books with Suzanne Lee gave me to consider, and then test, because I don't just read and believe. I mean, I have to test too, because I don't that those concepts are very advanced, and
Mhm.
they're not. You know, and I'm believing some mumbo jumbo that somebody wrote, and I'm not into that. I'm not. I test a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we have to test and research. I'm not much. I'm a skeptic. I know that I'm in the metaphysical business, but I'm as skeptical as they come. And until I can touch it, feel it, and I mean feel it, resonate with it, it's not for me. And there's
You have
plenty
to
of
do it.
things that I just think are absolute nonsense.
You have to
But
do it. I mean, you have to do it because I won't. I'm not one to believe just because somebody says so. I mean, I'm
not at
sorry.
all.
That's not who I am, and
We
I
also
rather
all have
believe in Mickey
developed
Mouse.
discernment.
I
It's
rather
really
believe in
important discernment.
yeah. I rather believe in Mickey Mouse than believe some crazy like that.
Yeah.
So, you have any questions, Heather?
No, I'm learning a lot of things.
Oh, okay.
and I'm really concentrated on understanding, my
The thing
just
about those books, I mean, those books are great. I mean, I read the whole thing once, and I went,
Mhm.
what? So I started rereading them again, but much slower because I started on book number 2, then I jumped to book number 1, then I went to book number 3, number 4, number 5,
Right.
and the whole series is about ascension. How the the Turian basically help the Palladians ascend, the planet ascend.
That's really cool. I want to read that. I don't know when I'm going to find time to read. I'm so busy right
Let,
now.
I
let me
know
tell you,
we
these
have
are
we have
very,
so much stuff going on.
these are books that you just can't sit and read in one sitting. No, you got to read for a little bit, and you have to sit there and wonder and
Yeah.
ponder.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It is that much material in one shot. It's like you
Yeah.
get your brain zapped for every paragraph that you read, and then you go,
Mhm.
okay, I got to think about this. What did it
I
say?
know. I know exactly what you mean. Even Dolores Cannon's book, I'm reading her book number 1 on the convoluted universe right now. And I can only read so much, and then I have to put it down and go,
Yeah.
let that simmer for a bit.
That's
I read those
I was reading one of her books too, and that's what I have to do. You read for so much, and then you
because
have to
it's,
sit
it's,
down
it's
and
very
think.
heavy stuff. It's very heavy, and it's not like reading. It's not like reading, but once you read that stuff and you assimilate it, you take a couple of bites and you chew and you swallow it, and you go, okay, now what happened?
Yeah, when I read Zachariah Ascension and McKeeseldeck's books, The Flower of Life, it was that way. I didn't understand 90% of it when I first read it. I had to go back and reread and
Mm-hmm.
little short bursts so I could put 2 and 2 together
Right.
because it's heavy stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one of the things that those particular books, I'm familiar with the Violet Flame, and I told you a little bit about the Violet Flame and how I learned about that through the I Am people. The I Am people. That's one of the things that the Saint Germain talks about. And by the way, one of the beings that I was able to talk to was Saint Germain.
Right.
and I rarely talk to him because I know how busy he is. So he came through in a different voice.
Huh.
And his thing is a violet flame. So then he said, and this is something that for everybody too, he says, I got a way that I can tell you that the violet flame dissolves all the negative stuff and turns it into positive light stuff. That's basically what
Well,
it's
maybe you can share that with the chat on how to use a violet flame.
Yeah. Well, anyways, he said if you add to this what looks like sparklers inside the violet flame, you know how the sparkles go with little like that. If
Of
you
course.
add that to the violet flame, what those sparklers do, let's say you got a big old wad of black gook that you want to get rid of, and you use the sparklers will break that up into little pieces. So then the violet flame comes in there and burns it up and changes it.
Transmutes it.
And it does work because I've been using it on my food because I was told, hey, get off the preservatives in your food. That's one of the things that I was told to do. And I go, okay, so how much preservative?
Our food is toxic. Our food is toxic. It's horrible.
So I've been using it. I've been using it on the food, and I just went third eye to see how much toxicity is in it, and I can see it like a white haze on it, and I use that with the sparklers, and the white haze starts breaking up until it turns transparent. And I go, okay, I got it. So then I eat the food. So I'm using it like a purifying thing for the food that I eat because I love cold cuts, and cold cuts is one of the worst things.
True.
So then I use that, and the food the cold cuts taste different. So once I do that process, and I've been doing that for at least a few months now, it works. It's been working for me.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm glad you can clean it.
But that's where prayer came from with the food, though. Pray, your prayer at dinners to make sure that food is used for your highest good.
Exactly.
That's really what your dinner time prayer was all about. Was
right, but
originally
prayer is not as powerful as the violet flame, though.
Well, I don't think there's much anything that's that powerful.
So, anyways, with these books, and it talks about how the violet flame was instrumental in bringing the Pleiadian world up to 5D. Right. And they did. They managed to do it. So that's why they're over here helping us. So they've been there, done that.
Yeah.
We got the Arcturians, and we got the Pleiadians, and we got the other ones. So we're number 3. So the 2 are helping us, and when we do it, then we're going to go someplace else and help somebody else.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
So.
Do they have any idea how long it's going to? Have you ever heard of any dates, years when the Earth is actually going to be ready to ascend? I don't have any dates.
I don't either, but I know that we're already in 4D.
Yes.
Also, there's some people who just live in 3D, and nothing you can do can get them off of it. They're just like not there. But you can tell. You meet people on the street and you go, "Huh? Where you're at, buddy?" And they're not at the same level you are because they're not. They don't even feel the same way. The vibration is way down there, and your vibration is up here somewhere. So what we do, I'm not that I'm better than them. But
no, I understand.
I don't think I'm better than anybody. In fact, I don't think I'm perfect at all. I got many faults.
Too many to list in this body. We just won't talk about faults here. Yeah. We're all doing the best we can.
Yes, with what we got.
I kind of scream at people sometimes when they get me down in.
I'm a road rage person myself.
Well, they cut me off, and I see them, and they're honking back at me, and the ones that did it, the other people, and I go, "Well, I should have done that."
I just grump at all the crummy drivers. I don't do anything. I just scream. I just bitch. Call them names.
Okay. I mean, you can do that. You can do that so long as you don't hold on to it.
Oh no. No.
No.
As soon as I get out of the car, I'm fine.
Yeah.
It's a great way to release tension. Just yell at idiots on the
Right.
road.
Especially the Miami drivers. Oh my God.
Oh no, Key West.
Key West.
Key West
Key
has
West
the
is
worst
bad?
drivers everywhere.
Everybody's on vacation, so they don't think
So
there
they
are
don't
anything
care.
such as laws, lights, stop signs,
No.
and they don't believe in that. They're on vacation.
Mhm. And have had way too much to drink most of the
Yeah,
time.
and they're halfway. Well, you know, the Keys are wonderful, but you know, there's not really much to do other than drink and go fishing. You know,
True.
and they don't even have real beaches.
Full of
They have some beaches, but you got to access them in those little islands by boat. You know, they
Oh,
do
they're
have some.
so beautiful out there. Those little.
There's some nice ones. There's some really nice ones. I've been to a couple of them.
Yeah, we
and,
have too. There's several around here that are just lovely to
that
go
are-
to.
They're gorgeous.
Because the beaches in Key West are horrible. It's all
No,
sand and there's a that sargasso
That's silt.
grass.
That's silt. It's like what used to be sand that got ground to be on powder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, does anybody in the chat have any questions, or
You guys have any questions? Because we're here to answer any questions. We got a few minutes left. And we can say hi to some people, Amanda Carroll and Warrior Girl and Cherie.
And High
Thank you,
Vibe in
guys.
88.
Hi, Vibe in 88. Thanks for being here. It's good to see you here.
And you're right, High Vibe, and everybody is at different levels.
Let's see.
Right. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, everybody's where they should be.
Nothing wrong with what level you're at, the level that you need to be, and that's what should really matter.
Yeah.
Right.
Let me see.
That's
Everyone's at various levels, and we're learning to master. Yeah, that's exactly right. That is exactly right. Because where I was a year ago, I'm not right now. I look at myself a year ago and I go, "What the heck? What you think?
Aren't we changing so fast?
What the heck were
Month
you
by month.
thinking? Come on, wake up!"
You were doing the best you could with what you had.
That's exactly right.
Exactly. And I mean, you did what you needed to do, and then the thing is that keep moving forward, you know. And before you know it, you go
and have love and compassion for those that aren't. That's a big thing. Don't look down on them. Don't be disdainful. Have love and compassion for whatever journey they're on.
They are who they are.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to accept them.
That's why Michael said, you know, as bad as those Dracs are, I mean, even they deserve a break. And I said, yeah, I know, but if they attack me, I'm sorry, guy. They're going to get it.
I can't argue with that. That seems reasonable.
Self-defense.
And he agreed. I mean, he agreed. He goes, yep, that makes sense. Okay, so that's the deal. That's the deal I have with him. And, you know, I don't mind cutting deals. I mean, I don't mind cutting deals. And that's usually what I try to do, because I'm not going to blindly go do one thing and something that I feel bad about. I'm not going to do it right.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense. I mean, like you two do this show and you're doing it because you really enjoy it.
Who knew? I could not have imagined how much I have gotten out of it
and all the research that you're doing, you're educating yourself too.
Oh, heck yeah. True. We learn as much as people watch and learn.
Right.
Like some of the stuff that I did for this little talk here about the crystal skulls, I didn't even know up until a couple of days ago, you know, with the geometry of the skulls and connecting to the skull. So, you know, if you want to participate in an experiment and you don't have to get a fancy one. You can they have small ones.
They're like $25. Yes. You can afford them.
$25 is not bad. So they come from China, so it takes a while. And you know, it was at the time that the Chinese and the Americans were having problems. And I go, I'll never get it now.
Yeah,
but it got here. So I guess I don't know if anybody who's making these skulls right now, but you can buy big ones for like thousands of dollars. And
right, you can. Yeah, the big ones are so expensive.
Well, when I was researching the crystal skulls, I found out that most of the ones that have been found were actually manufactured in Germany. They
Yeah,
were
there's a lot
they
of
were
them.
bought out of South America, but they were actually manufactured in Germany.
Yeah, and they have them. They don't have to be quartz. They have them in different kinds of materials.
Yeah, I
So,
saw that when we were researching them the other day. They have them in all kinds of different things,
but
chrysoprase,
you know,
you name it.
I'm partial. I'm
Mhm.
partial to quartz because I know the properties of quartz. And then if Max is doing this kind of stuff, I know it has to be quartz. So it
Well,
doesn't have to be.
Well,
that clear quartz is the biggest magnifier, isn't it? It's the one that really magnifies.
Yes,
and yet,
yes and no. And the reason for that is that the quartz has a specific structure. And Marcel Vogel goes into it in his own research. It has like a center line, and everything is the same on each side around, and then everything builds from the center line. If it doesn't have that center line, then it's not nature made. They can take quartz and melt it down, and it's still quartz, but it's not with the structure. It's
Man-made. It didn't have the
not,
correct
well,
structure any
it's still
longer.
quartz, but it's not with the structure that the crystal structure. And you
Right.
can make like here. Let me show you. Okay, you see this
Hmm.
pyramid?
Yeah.
It's very clear. It's like glass. This is quartz, but it's not grown quartz. This is melted quartz, made into a mold, and then somebody cut it and polished it into the shape. This is the same shape as the Giza
Hmm.
one, with the same angles and stuff like that.
Right.
It has the energy also, and some people say, "Oh no," and Marcel Vogel said, "Well, if it's not real, it's not nature grown, and synthetic quartz is not right." Da, 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 da. I don't believe it because I bought myself years ago a bar of man-made quartz about this long.
Hmm.
I made a wand, a special wand, and it took half of the wand was that, the other half was selenite. Inside the selenite, I cut a channel. I put a big rod of copper. At
Hmm.
one end, I put a Herkimer diamond, and at the other end, I put a piece of moldavite, and I glued it together. That thing was so powerful, it got taken away from me. I lost it in my house, and I don't know where it is. I haven't seen it.
Wow.
Disappeared.
Just disappeared. Can
Disappeared.
you answer this question for Cherie? White Dragon, what is important for us as a group to do today or as a daily practice?
What is important? Well, what's important is to work on yourself first.
Yeah.
Get yourself to the highest possible vibration that you can, because you can't really help anybody unless you do that yourself. And then once you do that, you get to that point where you have the higher vibration, then you can start helping other people along. But that doesn't stop you from helping yourself continually. You see what I mean?
I'm always working on myself.
right.
So you work on yourself,
Finding
and
job.
It is. It is.
you meditate, you read, you ponder, uh, you walk in nature. I mean, walking in nature in the sunlight. I mean, if you're lucky like we live in the Sunshine State, we have more sun than we know what to do with. You can walk barefoot on the grass.
Hmm.
Yes, you.
I dig in the dirt a lot. I'm a gardener, so I
Yeah.
like being outside.
Right, you walk in the dirt, you get yourself that gets you at the same polarity as the earth, and they have actual measured benefits to that.
Hmm.
Electrons go into your body like that and purify you internally because you're in contact. If there's an insulation with your shoes or whatever, it does
You don't get the contact.
you
Mhm.
can't get there. So the important
And all our rubber shoes keep us from having contact. All the tennis shoes that people wear.
right.
Yeah.
So get yourself to the point where you're constantly getting higher and higher in vibration through whatever you choose to do. Some people do it through singing. Some people do it through drawing. Some people do it through dancing. Some people do it through doing shows like this. There's many ways of doing it. There's not just one way. You don't have to go cross-legged and cross-eyed in some cave in the Himalayas for 20
Not
years.
anymore.
to do that. No, you don't. No. That's the old days. The days of walking and doing that at the same time are here, and we're all doing it at the same time.
So, White Dragon, thanks for being here today.
Yes, thank you so much.
It's really been fascinating. And can we call you a crone from now on? Can you be?
I don't know. I was thinking about. I mean, the ladies are crones. What's a man called? A geezer?
Well, a geezer. I think a man can have crone wisdom just as well as a woman.
Right. You can always be honorary.
We'll make you an honorary crone, and I hope you'll come back and visit. Bring some more information to us.
Oh, I mean, that's just a little bit. I have more stuff that I could talk about, but it's just like we went over like 10 minutes. Sorry, guys.
No, it's not a problem at all. It's fantastic. It's been fun.
It's always best.
I hope people learn something from at least what I discovered. I mean, I'm always discovering things. So.
Oh, I'm sure they have.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people have gotten great information from today's show. So thank you so much for being here. And everybody in the chat, thank you guys for being here from Facebook as well as YouTube. We sure appreciate your time, and especially on this busy family day, Easter Sunday. So do you have any shows coming up with Dr. Gail anytime soon?
No. I mean, what she's doing is she asked me for updates. Me and Juno and whoever else, wants to share their stuff. I mean, with me personally, things have been pretty slow lately. I don't know why, but that's fine. I was pretty busy for a while. So
sometimes you need to rest. Yes, sometimes you need to rest.
I mean, that's fine. And she's doing her own thing, and I'm sure that she has a lot of experiences that she can't even talk. Sometimes we talk on the phone or email, and so she tells me about it, and I tell her about some of mine. And
Good.
So
well, again, thank you for being here and sharing your information about the crystal skulls and the Pleiadians and the books. And I will try to get the list of those books into the description of this video for anybody that's interested. And anyway, everybody, shine your light.
Yes, spread it out. Today's a great day because there's so much love in the air anyway. So spread it out and also include yourself.
Exactly. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.